If you stand still, you're dead.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a general rule of life.
Yeah.
Like if I just wrote this the other day, like if you go up to a stop sign, like yeah, you have to stop, but eventually you have to pick a direction to go. Look, you're going for.
I mean, they don't really fit that great, but
Oh,
they bang.
wait, I took a picture of this. Something I bought from Amazon. My wife has no idea.
Oh my God, what is that thing? Is that just like a battle shield?
It's like a tactical Mandalorian helmet.
You know, for when you're sneaking around in the dark.
Yo, I got to play combat laser tag tomorrow, and I thought it was the perfect opportunity to just...
Combat legs, is that full contact?
I don't know.
You go up and just like melee a dude.
Oh, dude. I've been listening to GoldenEye on like loop. Yeah.
So Mike Subject is back. Mike Subs is back. Episode 127. We had him on episode 83, almost a year ago.
Almost.
So we almost timed it pretty good.
Yeah.
We almost had like an anniversary episode.
That would have been cute.
It's been too long. The last time I saw you,
You guys had the thing at Holy Q.
it was the last beer and wood party, but networking event.
Damn. That was
Too dangerous to call it a party these days.
Why is it too dangerous?
I don't know. I feel the first time we had one, I kept calling it a party, and people were like, "Is it a party or a networking event?" I'm like, "Well, it's on a Wednesday, so it's whatever you want it to be."
Yo, aren't like networking events technically parties regardless?
Yeah, they're parties. Well, sometimes they're not parties though. They're like, I've been to a few networking events where it's like, ugh, you know.
I can't stand. Like your thing was one thing because it was like everybody's like minded, like in a different way.
Yeah, because I controlled the guest list.
Yeah,
It's open invite, but it's not.
Yeah, like I feel like this has been my gripe with like networking thing with like the past like I would say 5 years. I think every networking group, and somebody's probably going to be upset that I'm saying it, but there's so many networking groups that are such like an old mentality.
Yeah.
And it's like the same old, I don't want to say old, but same people just
They are
complaining.
old. They've been around, like some of those groups have been around for 30, 50 years. I know I've been in, I get to talk about them because I've participated in all of them, so you
Right.
get a pass. But I've been in Latip. That was a complete waste of my time.
Yeah.
I was also a lot younger in business, so I felt like half the people there didn't take me seriously.
Yeah.
And then as I got to know everybody there, I didn't take them seriously because they were all like, the only people making money in those groups are like insurance brokers, real estate agents. Like if you're a mortician or a fitness person or like, they kept saying like, oh, builder is a great thing. But like the Latip group I was in, there was a guy there that was already like the residential construction guy for the group. So I came in under the premise of like commercial construction, which we did do a lot of. But nobody in that group knew anybody that needed commercial construction. So I just wasted like 2 years of my life, like Wednesday morning breakfast at 7:30 in the morning.
And you just sat there.
And you're expected. And then I was in BNI, which I don't even know what that stands for. Business Networking International, I think. Just made it up. But it's the same presence, like, or premise. Yeah, that's fought my way out of that one. Yeah, got myself out.
Live, dude.
But you're expected to come there with referrals for other people, and if you don't come with a referral, you like have to pay a fine, and that raises money for the group. So like people would just like when I was in BNI, like I would get referrals and stuff, and then I would call the people that were like on the referral sheet, and they would be like, "Oh, who are you?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, so and so says you need like a deck or something like that," and they'd be like, "Who's that?" And that happened to me all the time. I finally was just like, I can't waste my time. This hour or so that I'm coming to lunch or breakfast with these groups of people, like they're usually great people and they're well-intentioned, but I just don't think business, like that's a weird way to get business in my opinion, because it's just kind of like you're just people are like, well, why don't I get any referrals? It's like, well, is your business any good? are you any good? Is your sales pitch any good?
Yeah.
People just expect, like, I'm in the group, so I'm going to get business from the group. It's like, no, there's so much more to gaining people's trust and earning business than just showing up to a pizza lunch every Thursday.
It would be different if it was like, you know, like I think like lunch and learns are like a better idea, because at least like I could go in there and be like, hey, my name's Mike. This is what I do. And it would attract, you know, I don't want to say a demographic, but hopefully it would attract like people that were like interested in learning about a specific business, but also how that business operates.
Yeah, so essentially I created a podcast out of spite because I was like, I'm just going to bring people in that I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down with them. I'm going to genuinely be interested about them. I think when we first met,
You weren't generally interested.
nah, I was like, dude, another fitness person, guy, P90X guy.
Hates the Peloton.
Ooh, what's this CrossFit? Nah. So it's like you get like, I don't know who introduced us, or if maybe you reached out.
I just reached out.
Yeah, so like we looked at like your page or whatever, and we're like, this guy looks pretty cool. So hopefully he doesn't disappoint us. And I don't think we've ever really been. I'll out you on the show, but I don't think we've ever had anybody on that we were just like, yeah. Like that wasn't too, like we didn't really get anything out of it. Like usually people, when they're complete strangers, come in and they leave like a friend of ours.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like, I might not get business from you ever, but like you're one more person that I now know. Yeah. So it's not really about getting business, but it's like about meeting as many people and genuinely connecting with as many people as possible.
Yeah. Like this is going to sound ridiculous, but number one, that white Audax shirt you gave me, that's like my going out shirt. That's like
You're not the only. I love hearing that, and that shirt really, that we put a lot of energy into that shirt. That was a lot of work.
That's like
in design.
Besides listen, I'm a Jersey guy. I'm a Giants fan. Judge me how you want.
Yeah.
That's like the one white shirt that I own that like if I'm going out and my wife is like, we're going to a nice place, I'm going to wear that shirt because I know it looks nice enough. But I also get like jacked up. Like I saw a bunch of your guys up at the Plumstead at the pizzeria the one day. And like when I see all your stuff go on social media and the stuff that you do and there's such like a love for it, I'm like, I wish I had something he could do. Like, but I'm like, I get so pumped to see that stuff. So I'm like, dude, the work that you guys do, I'm like, can I break something? Can I put a hole in my wall? Like, what can I do to bring them in?
That's hilarious.
That's a great.
He's just like
testimonial.
creating reasons to hang out with us.
Yeah.
I do think we have a few customers that like we've been working on their houses for. You know, it started out as something small, and like 2 years later, we're like still working on their house, and it's like, yeah, man, you know, we can leave here and we'll still be friends. Yeah, like we can hang out if you just want to keep seeing the guys.
I think that's the missing component in networking.
Yeah,
like I don't think it should. It's everything in life's a relationship, but I feel like when you establish that relationship with someone, like you said, you establish the trust. And then you see what they do. Like, I have a picture of me and Nick and Steve Service. They made me eat some weird flour called like chum soy or something.
Oh, the lemon flour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're like, I don't know if I could trust these guys.
Oh no, I trust them. I'll trust them with both my kids.
Yeah, they're two of the most like genuine people we've had on the show. That's why we have them on all the time, because they just. The first time I met them, I was like, these guys keep it real. There's no way this isn't Nick and Steve. Yeah. There's no hiding who they are. Like, they're just, this is us. If you don't like us, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, I appreciated that so much. And I'm sure there's people that, like, look at them or what they say or how they talk, and they're just like, they're not for me. Yeah. But, like, then that's okay. Yeah.
It's not your thing.
It's not like you don't like good food and funny stories, and having two people come over to your house and cook for you that are like your friends.
Like, remember, they share the kitchen with my mom.
Oh yeah,
the fire.
Yeah.
So like every Monday and Tuesday, like I'm in there. If they're in there, we're all BSing, laughing, doing X, Y, and Z. But like they're like two guys that, like, if I can sit there and I can say to somebody at the gym, like, yo, have you ever had food from these guys? Because this is what you need. But like every single person who I meet, like I want everybody to go to my barber. If you don't want to go to my barber, that's fine, but I want you to go to mine. If you want some kind of house renovation or construction done, I'm going to send them to you. Like, that's what I feel like that networking is so corny of just like 20 people sitting in a room eating ham and eggs and not really getting anything done, but just talking about it.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to like, I saw people in the group that were, I guess, successful. Not necessarily successful by my standards for me personally, but like in their world or their business, like they were doing things. Like the insurance guy was making money. Like they were all doing business or they had been around. And I was like, oh, okay, so these people have it figured out. It wasn't until, I got a little older that I realized I was like, I haven't figured out the whole time. It's like you just have to make friends with people. And then your friends will look out for you. So we stopped doing networking stuff. And then I wanted to start the podcast. Like we're probably going on 2 years now. Because there was so many people, like Corona was going on. There were so many people in the community that you could see on social media. And I was like, what would like, how can I like bring value to other people, but also get to know other people genuinely? And it's like, well, all right, you want to come on my podcast? And it sounded so cheesy or corny in the beginning, but now we have people reaching out that like want to come and hang out. And sometimes we do say no to people. Like there are people that reach out that we're just like, we don't know what we would talk about with you. Like, what do you do? What do you got going on? Like, and like that might seem selfish, but like at the end of the day, like we do have to put on like a good show and we have to get something out of it. And a lot of what I've gotten out of it is just like I now have, we're on episode 120, this is 127. So we've probably had 50 or 60 guests on the show by now, at least I would think.
Yeah.
And like I know 60 more people. Like I'm friends with 60 more people than I would be if I didn't have the show.
And that's so much better than this Facebook meta crap. Cause it's like,
it's real weird.
It's like, oh, I have all these friends, but then it's like, no, you don't. Like I could sit there and I can hold a conversation with the people that I'm closest with because we actually go do stuff. Yeah. It's not just like I have a bunch of people. I think this is all like I have a bunch of people who I went to high school with that have reached out to me within the last like 6 months that are like, yo, I love everything that you talk about. Like you have helped me through so much stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm
what's
so glad.
Cool about that is like, one, you're helping people, and two, you're showing people, like I've said some what's considered abrasive or opinionated things on social media or on the podcast. But what people need to realize is like one, very few people in total in our whole world use social media. So I think a lot of people like feel like they need to put on this filter or this front for people that, isn't truly them. So when they see somebody that's, being themselves, even if they don't resonate with what you're saying, they're like, oh, okay. It's like safe to be yourself. Because like you say things that are like maybe opinionated or abrasive to some people, but you're still doing well. Yeah. You're okay. The Twitter man hasn't come for you. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing's been banned for me.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like if we didn't agree on something, I would be like, okay.
We don't agree.
Yeah, we don't.
I agree on this mustache.
It's killer. There have been so many times I've wanted to shave it. I'm like,
I just can't.
I want to keep going.
You gotta keep.
Yeah, it's the power stash now. It's just you.
It's just I feel like I'm at that point in my what is it? What's the This Is Us?
Yeah.
Yes, I watch it with my wife, and it makes me sad. But I'm like, this is my Jack phase of my life where I have the mustache.
Yeah, you're gonna look back on like your kids' like pictures like growing up, and like you're gonna be like, I remember the mustache.
Dude, I look at the pictures that we have in our house, and it's like long beard phase, 5 o'clock shadow phase, mustache phase, long hair phase, not many tattoos here, and I'm like, oh man.
I've been through some stuff.
Like,
But you're always changing. That's good.
Like, if you're not changing, like, what's the point? Like,
I don't know if I could trust a fitness person or somebody that's in the fitness business if you weren't always changing. Because, like, what you do for a living is, like, you change people.
yeah.
So if you're, like, plateaued, it's like, well,
If you stand still, you're dead.
yeah,
I feel like that's just a general rule of life.
yeah,
Like, if I just wrote this the other day, like, if you go up to a stop sign, like, yeah, you have to stop. But eventually you have to pick a direction to go. You can't just sit there and be like, I'm just going to wait. Like, eventually somebody's going to honk the horn behind you and be like, yo, move, like, make a decision. Like, not enough people are making decisions based on what they want and how they feel is best for them, whereas they want to do it because everybody else is like, go.
yeah. There's also like another side to that analogy that like people don't always stop all the way at stop signs.
The Pennsylvania stop, I've learned.
Yeah, it's the Philly stop for sure.
that
Just
what-
roll and
yeah.
stop. Yeah. And I think, you eventually you stop and you have to go and make a decision. But also if you're just rolling through decisions without stopping, that can have consequences
Yeah,
as well.
like you got to sit there and just take a minute. Like, if I do this, and I feel like so many people, like, when you do make the decision, right? Like, I said I was going to run every 5K in the Buck Series. Do I look like a runner?
No,
I'm not built like a runner.
your team thick.
I am team fit, like 3 C's at least.
Yeah.
But I made a commitment. So, like, I established that these were the days I was going to run. These are the days I was going to train. These are the days that I was going to do that. I don't want to look back and be like, all right, I immediately regret this decision. I want to keep going, because so many people will make the choice to do what they want to do and the choice that they want to make. But then they'll have that one moment where it's like, if you look back, you may want to go back,
Yeah.
but you have to keep the course. You have to stay it.
Yeah, I've kind of learned that like there is like when you go back on things, like it's not the same. Like once you've moved forward, you're never going back to the same situation,
Yeah.
even if you want to. So just wanting to go backwards is just it's not there anymore. So you might as well just keep your head focused on what's
Yeah.
the next thing.
I think I'm pretty sure it's an emu and a kangaroo are the only 2 animals that physically cannot move backwards.
Emu and a kangaroo.
Emu and a kangaroo. They, like a dog.
Well, I don't think sharks can't swim backwards, can they?
I can't. Well, I didn't say swim.
Yo, that's true. Move.
said-
Yeah,
I
he
said
said he
move. I said
moved.
move.
You move. Yeah. Yeah, don't sleep on the sharks, man.
Yeah, sharks be.
Be a shark.
Be a shark.
Always be a shark.
Yeah, so getting back to the beer and wood, that's kind of like what my vision for the beer and wood was, to take all the people, the first one at least, was to take all the people that like I was interacting with on social media and had built this like virtual relationship with, and most of them they were all contractors and stuff back then.
Yeah.
And like bring everybody together to meet in real life.
You literally made a Facebook group a real thing.
Yeah, that's a first. I forget how many years ago. Like it's probably like 2 or 3 years since we've had the first one, and it was like there were so many people there that I had never met, but they were liking my pictures. I was liking their pictures.
Yeah.
They were doing cool projects, and then it was like it would be cool to kind of get everybody together in real life. So, because it was like originally a construction thing, I was just like, let's just call it beer and wood, because we all work with
Yeah.
wood and we're going to have beer there.
Yeah.
So it was pretty simple. And then we had a shadow one during Corona at the new shop, or shop 2.0. And like we didn't really advertise the location. We didn't advertise. I think like 50 or 60 or 50 people probably showed up to that one,
It was a
maybe
good
in
amount
total.
of people, yeah.
That was a good one. And we had it up in like Ottsville in our shop. And like what we didn't realize about our shop is it's really dark out there. So people were pulling up and it looked like we were having a really secretive meeting.
No, I thought I was going to be murdered. I thought I was being lured into
Yeah, because it was
some scary part of
so
things.
dark.
This is how horror movies start.
Yeah, exactly.
So the most recent one we had was a huge success because we had a lot of people outside of like the construction world come, and it kind of took like the event to a different place.
Yeah.
Because it brought like you brought some people with you.
Yeah.
Like we had everybody mingling. Like, so,
I was trying to get those three knuckleheads to like be like, yo, go talk to people. Go spread what you do. Like,
yeah, people. It's kind of weird. Like you go to events like that. I could see how people could be weird about like going to like a random bar on a weekend and just like talking to people. Like that I can understand. But when you come to an event where people are like coming to expect to meet people, and then they stick to like the 5 people they know. Like we had this one designer that we work with. She reached out to my wife. Like my wife usually has like a large hand in like organizing the food and the drinks, and she's kind of like the heart and soul of Beer and Wood. She actually does all the work. I just do the promoting. And I'm being completely honest.
they just like show up.
That's what happens. And she's like, "I got an inventory of stuff. Like we got a list. Got lists."
Yeah.
And this one designer reached out to my wife on Instagram. She was like, "Oh, are you going to be here? Like, I don't want to be the only girls there, blah, blah, blah." And, like, was like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." And then, like, that person came to the event and didn't even say hi to my wife. It was like, why would you go through the effort of, like, reaching out to some, like, I was like, that's so weird. That's anti-Beer and Wood. You're on my list. I'm watching you next time. I'm introducing you to so many people next time. It was just kind of weird. It was like, I'm not going to, like, are you going to be there? I want to make sure we got a little ladies thing together. My wife was like, yeah, I'm coming. See you there. And then, like, I was like, oh, did you ever connect with so-and-so? And she's just like, no. They, like, looked at me and just, like, never even said anything. I was like, that's weird. And I was like, whatever. But,
like, that goes back to, like, human nature. Like, nobody wants to be uncomfortable. But, like, even I make this joke all the time. Like, there's never an awkward moment with me. I can make it awkward if you want, but it's only awkward if you let it be.
Yeah.
And if you don't let something, if you say like a bad joke and you just like let it sit there, but like have zero reaction, people are going to look at you like, oh, this is awkward.
Yeah.
You can like try to like build it up.
Oh, I can take it all kinds of awkward places.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That's usually a defense mechanism because everybody thinks I'm an extrovert, but I'm definitely an introvert, like faking it as an extrovert sometimes. So, like, events like that, like, before the Beer and Wood, like, I'm not doing well. I'm like, there's going to be people there. I did this to myself. I organized this. What was I thinking? Yeah. I was like, no, I got to, like, go in there and, like, have that, like, and then I'm just, like, I get there, and then I start talking to a few people, and then everything's fine. Yeah. But usually, like, large groups of people, I'm just not having I don't want to have any parts of. Gilmar's seen it. I'm just like, nope.
Go outside and breathe a little
bit. Why'd we come to this? There's so many people here. Nope.
Too much noise.
So if you're like at a gas station and somebody starts talking to you, can you start talking to them, or is it just like?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at that just because I've realized like over time, like how you treat other people. Like this is something I tell myself daily. Is like how you treat other people is like a reflection on how you think about yourself.
Yes.
So even recently, like I have a hard time being nice to people just because I hate myself. So it's just like
that's genuine.
It's honest.
Yeah.
It's witnessed it. Like, and it's just like a defense mechanism. I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk to you. So like, I'm gonna just be mean. And now I've realized that like I feel a lot better about like where my life is heading, or just generally just feel better if I'm just like nice to the cashier. Like I went to REI the other day to buy some stuff, and like the cashier was not someone I'd be friends with potentially in the real world.
Right.
But she said something to me about my hat. My wife was with me. She said something funny. I said something funny. Probably made it awkward. But like I left there being like, wow, like I was nice to that person. Right. And that made me feel good. So like every time I do that, it's just kind of like, okay, you're heading in the right direction. But younger me was like, nope. Don't talk to me.
I get that. I can be, if you want me to be an asshole to you, I can be.
Yeah.
Like if you give me a reason to be, like I will. But for the most part, like I want everybody to live their best life. Like I want everybody to feel like not high, but like on a high, just because like I feel like when you're comfortable with yourself and you accept like who you are, and people see that, like you said, it's a reflection of yourself. Like last week, I went to Joseph A. Bank because I needed a suit.
Oh, boy. That's a dangerous place to go. Like, I would have a hard time there. The guy's like bullshit, and he's like, oh, you're going to get you some good I'd be like, buddy, that suit, tailor it up, Get me out of here. 15 minutes.
So I didn't listen to my wife, and my wife was begging me. She was like, "We have this wedding. I had to officiate it.
Oh, so you had to get a suit.
I had to get a suit, and none of my suits fit me. And I waited till the last minute to try it back on, because when do I need to wear a suit nowadays?
Yeah, you don't.
Never.
No.
So I go down there, and I have like an hour and a half before I go pick up my son from daycare. And I'm in there, and he's the only guy working. And there's like 3 other customers in there. And I'm like looking, and he's like, hey, how can I help you? And I was like, I need a new suit, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, hey, I'll be right with you. Like, I got all this stuff going. He was running the whole store.
Yeah.
Running back and forth, doing a measurement, checking somebody out, getting suits. It's prom season. And I say to some other guy, I'm like, yo, is he the only one working? And the guy made a joke like, yeah, like everybody called out. And I was like, oh, man, this poor guy. Like, I immediately felt bad because this guy is just trying to work.
Yeah.
And he's probably got so much crap. And I was like, he's like, hey, man, I got you. I was like, dude, I promise you, I will be your easiest customer all day. And finally he gets to me like an hour later. And I see the suit that I like, and it just, for whatever reason, the jacket fit like perfectly. There was pants, and he was like, what size are you? And I said, it depends. And he said, depends on what? And I was like, I need room for my thighs, and I need to make sure that I can drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, if you got to drop it low at a wedding, which is likely tear some pants out.
It happened, but the pants did not tear. But I got the pants, put them on, they fit great. And he goes into the back. He's like, hey, I'll be right back. He goes into the back and comes out with this woman. And he looks at her. He's like, if I buy you lunch, can you get this young man his suit altered for this wedding this weekend? She was like, yeah, is that all you need? He was like, yeah, I'd really appreciate it. So just because I was nice and myself,
yeah,
not only did I get my suit that I needed, I got the alterations done in that night.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah, and everywhere else was just, you couldn't.
Yeah.
So I went the next day, picked it up. It fit like a glove. Went to the wedding. Had more compliments from dudes than from my wife.
Yeah.
But it just
That's how you
out.
know you're looking good.
Yeah.
When dudes are like,
Yeah.
damn, why'd you show up?
Yo, you look good in that blue suit.
Yeah.
And it just worked out. But it's like, there's so many people that are like rushing around, like, just go, 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 go. And it's just like, take a minute, breathe. Everybody's got their own bag of shit that they're dealing with. And just like, treat them like a person.
Yeah.
Just because the person at Wawa has 3 teeth and like, a lazy eye doesn't mean you got to treat them like a jerk.
Yeah, usually I'm nice to those people. It's like the pretentious people I usually have a problem with. It's like I'll like open up sometimes and I'm like, hi, how are you? And just like say hi to someone leaving the gym and they look at you like, what's your deal, dude? And I'm like, oh, I just said hi to someone and they denied me. And I'll be like cursing out their future children.
Yeah,
Like, your unborn child, I wish him well, but you got problems,
Yeah.
buddy.
I hope
can't
one big
read.
toe is smaller than the other.
There you
Yeah,
go.
man, I hope he's born with fucking 11 fingers.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That might be kind of an advantage, though.
Yeah.
You got an extra finger.
Just take care of things. Like your hoop game is like off the charts.
Oh, yeah,
like you
got
can
a
pound the
wide-
ball.
Yeah.
It's just
Got
gonna
that
be a pain
extra
to find
pinky.
gloves.
The rinky, right out the side.
Mm-hmm.
Just like everybody's like, what's he got, dude? He's got
What's he
that
got?
11th finger, man.
11th finger.
Shoots right-handed.
What would you call that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think we're just gonna go rinky.
Ringy.
Your ringer.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, dude. You know what? If you're in that situation, you can call whatever you want.
Mhm.
Is what it is. Yeah. So that's what we're going through. Just life, man. We're all in this. Technically, like the planet Earth is kind of like a spaceship. We're all on a spaceship together. Like it's moving around like technically, we all think of spaceships like SpaceX, but like what if Earth is a spaceship? Think about it.
I mean,
I feel like it's gonna get deep.
I don't know. And 420 was yesterday, and I did not partake. So this is a genuinely sober thought.
wow.
I had to explain to someone yesterday what 420 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what, Hitler's birthday?
They had no idea.
No, it's like legitimately. I always thought, I'm like, why is 420 like National Weed Smoking Day on Hitler's birthday? Like, what are they celebrating?
I didn't even realize it was. his
Yeah,
actual birthday.
it's like, could you have picked like Bob Marley? We looked his birthday up earlier. It's February 6th.
Oh, I
Yeah,
missed it by
something like
one day.
February 6th, right? That National Weed Smoking Day should be February 6th.
Yeah.
Like you picked like one of the worst people in history to like.
But would it?
Hitler's like wherever he's at right now, just being like they're celebrating me.
I feel like I feel like it should be more like Willie Nelson's birthday.
Yeah, Willie Nelson slaps. Yeah, is he still?
He's still.
He's still going.
That's
Still
That
going.
guy
crazy.
smokes some weed.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I feel like that his birthday. If you're gonna pick one of the two, it should be
Yeah,
his.
can we look up when the first National Weed Smoking Day was?
I think it was because some kids used to smoke under some bleachers at a certain time, and that's
Which is
why.
like every Friday in most people's lives.
70s teens.
Yeah.
1971. Is that what I'm seeing?
Shit.
What do you got?
Oh
Oh
my
my
God!
God,
Be
you're
able
getting
to. You gotta
attacked.
subscribe.
Nah,
Yeah.
dude, it's the
We'll attack
ad
it.
blocker. There you go.
San Rafael.
In 1971, 5 San Rafael high school students were tired of Friday night football. See, dude, I told you.
Yeah.
And searching for parties, the 5 students called themselves the Waldos. Oh my God. The wall located in the main courtyard in the front of the cafeteria is a perfect spot for the Waldos to work on impressions of their fellow. This is getting too long. So we'll just say 1971 and not read the rest of the article.
Yeah, the
One-
Waltons met.
one day
that
the-
makes sense.
One day, the Waldos met at 4:20 p.m. for a safari and smoked all the Panama Red and Acapulco Gold, which are marijuana strains they could get their hands on. This mission, particular safari, was to find an abandoned patch of weed. Eventually, 420 became the secret code for the Waldos whenever they wanted to smoke.
That makes sense because school ends like what time generally?
I don't know. I think school for us ended at 2:30.
Yeah, for me it was like 2:30 or 3.
Yeah.
But like after like sports and stuff, it was probably done with practice.
The Waldos were not playing sports.
No,
Yeah,
but
no,
they
the
were under the
Waldos-
bleachers.
Yeah, the Waltons.
They were
was
watching
smoking.
sports. They were just chirping balls back
Yeah,
then.
you know.
In the 70s, the weed was weak.
Oh, I bet. I mean, nowadays.
I wonder
all
where the Waldos are at right now, or if any of them OD'd on weed or not.
Oh, Jesus. I hope not.
Yeah, that would be a good band name.
The Waldos.
Waldos.
That's probably a thing. I heard a funny thing the other day that, like, you know what a blackout is when you like drink too much?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're like when you smoke too much, it's called a green out.
Green out. Oh,
It's
shit,
like somebody was telling a story and they were like, "Yeah, I greened out," and I was like, "What?"
That doesn't roll off the tongue.
green
No,
out.
it doesn't. I mean, it might be their thing, because like Snoop Dogg's never greening out.
Yeah, no, Snoop Dogg, smoke all the weed in the world, he'd be fine.
I remember when we were young, my mom was like, "Why does he always have his sunglasses on?" I was like, "Cause the lights are hurting his eyes.
He's always high, man.
Because his eyes are all like he's all squinty.
Yeah, dude.
He's thinking about his ocular safety.
Mm.
It's really responsible of him.
Prescription sunglasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how he rolls,
Yeah.
man. You know that. I wonder what Snoop Dogg's gonna look like when he like actually starts looking old. He's gonna look like Mr. Miyagi meets like what's another old dude.
I don't know. I think he's gonna look like somebody's grandma.
He's
Yeah.
gonna look like a grandma.
I think so.
Is that what
He
happens?
already dresses like one with all the paisley. on.
Yeah, you know.
He does wear a lot of paisley. Is Snoop Dogg still technically a Crip? Was he ever a Crip?
He was definitely once a
He was
Crip.
definitely a
Oh,
banger.
most definite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he's probably just grandfathered out of it. You know.
Yeah, man. Like, what if they call him up and they're like, "Yo, we need to get to who's that the rapper that like snitched out all the bloods."
What rapper is that?
The dude with like the rainbow hair that always says the N word.
Oh, 6ix9ine?
And he says the N word like it's his like invention.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first time I saw what that dude looked like, I'm like, yo, he really throws the N word around, and I don't think he's black. His hair's rainbow.
Nah, man, there's a lot of people that are not black until to this day I know Puerto Rican kids that do it. I'm like, you need to stop.
Yeah, is that do Puerto Ricans like get a pass though?
I don't know, man.
What are the street rules?
Oh, Fat Joe says the N word still. He does not look black at all.
No.
He's a fat white guy with blue eyes. That's Fat Joe, bro.
Yeah, he does throw the N word around a lot.
He looks like Pitbull. Like
Yeah.
We need to
Just
we
swole up.
need to get a linguistics expert in here to like kind of explain to us why they get a pass. Because 6ix9ine snitched out on a bunch of like real gangsters and still throws the N-word around, and he's not dead yet. Like, you got to hold your street like rules and like
You gotta have some
shoot
credit.
this dude.
It's crazy he's not dead yet, man.
I think I lost money on DraftKings. Like
Betting?
6ix9ine be
got
dead by like. They were like, "Oh, 6ix9ine's getting out of jail this week. Like, he'll be dead by next week." And I'm like, "Take that bet."
He's got a Deadpool going.
Yeah, and I'm like,
You ever join one of them?
"What?
A
Like an
Deadpool?
actual Deadpool?
A Deadpool?
Yeah.
Interested?" Who
Yeah,
would-
it sounds like you know.
Because I joined one like probably for like 6 months.
For who?
who was dying?
No, it's like
Biden.
you every day.
yo, the odds are probably like not in
Yeah,
his favor.
He is not an underdog.
It
I'll
is
tell you
not.
that.
I think the odds are like, I'm gonna throw a Deadpool out there. Donald Trump has a better chance of getting reelected than Biden does surviving a second term.
Probably, yeah.
And I mean that kindly.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't wish ill on him. It's
Oh,
just
no.
facts.
Yeah, it's just facts.
Like, did you see the Easter Bunny like help him out?
Oh, that was
No.
that was
So
rough.
I mean, I stay out of the news. That's another thing I've been doing for my mental health is like going to people that know about the news and just asking them a little bit and then cutting them off when I start to get anxious. Like, all right, cool, that's enough. Power down. Like, just shut the laptop, but it's like a person. Just like slam their head down.
brush their face like a cat.
Yeah,
like a
my
man.
buddy's like, yo, here's like, and you know, you've got all your friends. Like, you've got your friend that's like liberal that sends you, you know, anti-conservative stuff because he thinks you're conservative, and then you got like your conservative buddy who thinks you're conservative sending you conservative stuff. And then you just got like somebody like my brother will just send me funny stuff that's pretty neutral. And one of them sent me like Joe Biden getting lost in like the Easter Bunny, like helping him. Like I was one of his press people,
Yeah.
dressed up as the Easter Bunny, and they were like, "Oh no, Mr. Biden, I'm like you got to go this way."
Is that when he turned around? Is that the one you're talking about?
It looked like Donnie Darko was like leading him down a hole.
That's probably what he saw.
Gee.
Could you imagine just being like senile and old and like tripping like
And
that,
just,
and
like-
just like all of a sudden you come to and the Easter Bunny's in your face?
Yeah.
Be
It's
like,
like that.
"Ah!"
Yeah. So like the Deadpool was like you had like a group of individuals that like you could pick,
Okay.
or like you could just say like, yo, I think, knock on wood, that's cork. Does that count?
This we'll knock on this. That's wood. You can knock on the didgeridoo. That's
The
wood.
didger- I don't want to knock
Didgeridoo,
on your
bro.
didgeridoo.
You gotta knock on
Just
a
knock on it.
didgeridoo,
Just
bro.
touch it, dude.
Like
Knock on a didge, bro.
like Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott. So the Marlboro Man, the
oh,
guy from Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Is this the Easter Bunny thing you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Oh,
Fucking
commercial.
Christ,
Keep it muted.
dude.
We'll just let
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy
yeah.
sell what he needs to sell. Peers.
So what he needs to sell.
Look at the dude. First off, it's a commercial, and they had the lavalier mic on his tie, and now it's not on his tie.
I didn't even notice
I
that.
didn't even notice that.
I got problems. Yeah, we got sound.
Yeah.
Just started. Whoa, there, dude!
He got you see the jump.
Go back. Dude, are the people seeing this right now?
Yeah.
Wait,
Look how scared he is of the book. Like, oh my god.
the eyes got big.
He's like, I gotta get out of here. Whoa!
The bunny waves.
And then just like he's like, I gotta get out of here, man. Who's this bunny?
I gotta get back to Delaware.
It says here Easter Bunny whisks Biden away as he starts discussing Afghanistan.
What? I don't think the Islamists care too much for the bunny.
Easter
Bruh,
bunny
I
was
don't
like,
know.
no, sir, we can't.
But-
So the marble man, you bet on the marble man?
That was just like an example.
One of the people?
Yeah, like you could, and then whatever the pot was, like you won. I mean, it's like thousands of dollars.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna be a Deadpool bookie. New job description. I'm gonna update my LinkedIn tonight. Look at Rambo's just like not keen on the cord working out.
I don't even.
Did he unplug the camera? Look at him wagging his tail at you. He's like, "Yeah, I did
Yeah.
that, Gilmore.
Fix it, dude.
Yeah, get out of here, Ram."
Alright, we're good.
I honestly like I'm politically homeless. None of these people have anything good in mind for us, Republican or Democrat.
I'm with you on that.
The whole like once you start understanding that like you get elected as a congressperson or a representative, then you get out of the game, and then you can become a lobbyist and make millions of dollars going back because you know everybody in the club. So like you could go to the lunches and like lobby people. Like it's all just like, and it's not, I really don't think there's like this huge Illuminati thing. I think it's a bunch of people that have been incentivized to look out for themselves.
I think anyone in any position of power, whether it be an Oval Office or
you're manipulating it
I don't
for your
think
benefit.
Nobody
it's
gives
human
a shit
nature.
about any of us.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
the very few people are running for office. Like the people that do care aren't running for office.
Yeah, exactly. Like generally, people that run for a position of power want it because they want power.
Yo, he's like, look at me, dude. Vote for me.
Yeah, I'll vote for you. No, a dog in Minnesota was voted mayor. It came up on the chive.
That's some Minnesota shit to do.
Dude.
Bunch of losers.
Bunch of losers. You know who's speaking of
38-7.
Minnesota, you know the one representative, she's a Muslim lady that she's ill. Look up the like representative of Minnesota, just Minnesota reps. Yeah. Ilhan Omar. Yeah, I forgot her name. I didn't want to mess it up. But she came out this week, and this lady is like the Minnesota of AOC. And there was a bunch of people that were singing like Kumbaya on a plane. Like a bunch of like Christians had gotten together, and somebody had an acoustic guitar and just like whipped it out, and they were like singing some songs or something
I
like
think
that.
I saw that video.
And she tweeted first off, like, if you pulled that shit on the fucking plane, regardless of what your religion is, I don't want to hear that. I want to watch my movie and land this plane safely.
I want to eat some peanuts.
But if like we're gonna land the plane a little bit more safe, sing whatever song you got to do.
Yeah.
But she came out and tweeted like how like she made it, instead of people being like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, she was like, well, what if Muslims did this on a plane? Like, what would people's reaction be? And I'm like, well, that didn't happen. Like, why are you trying to, like, especially as a representative of the government, like, why are you trying to bait an issue?
Yeah.
People got to stop.
You're
People do that all the time.
you're just trying to make something that's not an issue an issue.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just let the people sing. It is annoying. I'm not disagreeing. But if you came out and tweeted like, hey, this is mildly annoying, I would have been like, Miss Omar, you're right. But she came out and she's like, well, why can't Muslims do this? And I'm like, I don't know any Muslims like rocking out and playing acoustic guitar and singing songs. Like, that's not your style.
Yeah.
Maybe what she should have thought about is like, her tweet should have been like, where are my Muslims at? Let's get the acoustic set going.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Let's make some fresh Christian like songs, but for Allah. Like, why do you got to make, like, if you're in a position of influence or power and you take it and you try and like make everything negative or make everything this struggle that's not real, or you like be a force for positivity.
Yeah.
Like, just be like, oh yeah, like, I'm happy these people, like, but like, that's annoying as shit. Like, I would have been like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But like, why, like, don't you have other things to worry about as like a representative or like a political like this is what you're doing with your time? You got elected for this?
Yeah, like you have if you have the ability to make a change,
Yeah.
you need to.
Yeah.
It's not sitting there and just like, you can only cut a pizza so much before it's not what it was.
Yeah, and then it's just string cheese.
Yeah, and then you might as well just get polio.
Yeah.
I'm done either way because I'm lactose intolerant. But
Yeah, dude. Weak ass stomach over here.
the only weaknesses I have is dairy.
Can't eat ice cream.
It's just kryptonite.
It is. No, I had
We're gonna get him a shirt made that says Mike and his kryptonite, and it's just like
Two scoops.
him cowering to a jug of milk.
No, you know that Drake meme when he's like, happy?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, it's like vegetables and then dairy.
Nah.
not for Mike.
Nah.
No, I learned my lesson.
Another thing that's been kind of like interesting to watch is like this whole like Ukraine-Russia oligarch thing, and how we've been seizing all of these oligarchs' property. And the word oligarch is literally like every day, oligarchs. And then you stop for a second and you're like, well, and like I knew what an oligarch was, but nobody throwing that word around right now has any idea what an oligarch is. They're like, they think it's exclusive to Russia. America, full of oligarchs. We got Elon Musk, just decided to buy the largest social media thing in the world this week.
I respect him.
Bezos, Gates, Drake is an oligarch. Anybody that's got like immense influence and power and finances that can like literally call up somebody and make something happen, oligarch.
Yeah.
We literally live in like a democratic oligarchy. Everybody's like, oh no, we elect our officials. It's like, did you elect Drake? No, but like, can he call up somebody right now and be like, I want this to happen? Probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he let Meek Mill through Canada or something one time.
Yeah.
He was like, just made a call. Meek Mill's able to get in.
Oh yeah, because you can't get into Canada if you're a felon in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So Drake just was like, yo, I want my boy to visit. And they're like, no, he can't come. Calls him up and he's like, he's coming.
Yeah.
Open the gates.
So like, sorry, Mr. Drake, you're right.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Drake. Do you think they call him Mr. Drake?
Nah, probably Aubrey
Sir.
Graham or something. Sir
Yeah, because
Graham.
his real name's Aubrey, right?
Yeah, Aubrey
What
Graham.
kind of bitch ass name is that? I'm just gonna say it. Everybody listening was thinking it.
Aubrey.
I'm just gonna say what we were all thinking. Aubrey. We're supposed to take this dude serious.
We got the
I mean, it's a pretty exclusive name.
the guy who created the On It company, Aubrey Marcus.
Oh, okay, that's another Aubrey. He's badass, dude.
He is.
All right, so he just saved Drake from. So we've got one legit Aubrey, one not. The Aubrey fight is 1-1.
1-1.
I couldn't tell you any others.
Yeah, let's get. Yeah, well, can we find out if there's any other? If there's a third Aubrey, a tiebreaker here?
I
Famous.
feel like there's got to
Aubreys.
be a chick Aubrey.
Yeah.
It's got exclusive to men.
Aubrey de Grey. What?
Nah.
Most famous person named Aubrey. Look at this fucking guy.
He might be a Nazi, so scroll lightly.
Aubrey Beardsley. He's a Leo. Oh my God, he's a Leo.
Oh, well, in that case,
Yo, he's
totally trust him.
yeah, he's born kind of around the Civil War.
Oh, Aubrey Plaza.
She's all right. All right, let's go back up to the top
Baseball
numbers.
player.
Let's keep it in the top. Look at this dude with the stash. Let's see about this guy. That's a beard.
Aubrey de Grey.
He's got to be a painter or a metal guy.
Yeah, what do we got here? He went to Trinity Hall in Cambridge. Moscow Institute of
Adjunct
Physics
professor.
and Technology. He's a physicist. He works in biogeneratology. I can't even say that.
Biogeneratology.
He looks like Rasputin.
He does. He looks like he knows some shit.
His wife's got a wild name too.
What's his wife's name?
Adelaide Carpenter.
Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Adelaide.
He
Actually,
helped
no,
me out of that,
Adelaide.
Mark. He helped me out of that.
Adelaide. What the fuck?
That's-
Sounds like lemonade.
I went to a farm school to be a cop, so I know how to talk. I know how to pronounce names.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's kind of funny that mustache makes you look like a cop. With the beanie on, you look kind of like undercover right now.
You know how many
Like you
times?
just came off of like a little job.
You know how many times? Like first, when I used to cut my hair, like actually like a cop cut.
Yeah, when you had the high and tight.
Yeah, like high. But now more than ever, and I don't understand why, but everywhere I go, like somebody always asks me if I served, and I'm like,
I get that a lot too because Rambo, because he's a service dog. So like literally the most awkward. It's only happened like a handful of times, but you can like, and this is my own psychology. I'm like, I can like feel people thinking it. They're like, oh, look at that poor guy with a service dog. He must have shot some people in the face. And I'm like, God damn it. But when we were at what's the hunting store up in the middle of nowhere that everybody goes to? Cabela's.
up outside.
Yeah,
I would have
Roswell.
never guessed that ever in my life.
Yeah, dude.
You knew
I don't
Aubrey
know what
Marcus.
that
You're
is.
not from here.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that
You
is.
knew
Yes.
Aubrey Graham. That was about as
But
far
I-
as we got.
Yeah.
But I hate that you looked at me like I was gonna know.
It's
Like-
because you're like, you know things, dude. Look at your
guess.
sneakers and glasses.
Yeah, but I don't
today.
know
Like,
about hunting stores.
Anyway.
Ask me about the New York sneaker store.
Yeah,
I
so
got you.
we went to Cabela's a few months ago, and between all the Amish people or Amish looking, I can't assume they're
Are the
you know,
Amish up there?
they could have been Mennonite. They were all like
Probably
nice,
Mennonite.
nice, beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. They said it like 8 times. I'm like, yo, am I
Minnesota.
gonna worry about one of these dudes jacking my dog right now? I thought they were gonna have a love affair. They were like dogophiles. They were thinking some thoughts. But anyway, when we were
man.
leaving the store, this dude behind me was like, "Oh, thank you for your service." and I literally was like, that was the first time it happened to me, and I was literally like, "Oh." And I turn around, my brother's in the military, so I'm like, absolutely not stealing. Like, stolen valor is like the most pathetic thing to me. Like, if you act like you're in the military and you're not, get out of here, end your life. And I turn around and I was like, different set of circumstances. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And you got like even worse. Like, it was like more pathetic.
It became awkward.
Yeah, because then he was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." And I'm like, "It's
For
not,
what?
dude. Honestly,
Not a big deal.
not a big deal. Just different." Like, I'm like, just trying to tell you I wasn't in the service. The dog is to keep me from blowing up.
But I can't remember like the one time I was at Froelic's farm.
Okay.
And I was like paying for pumpkins or something. And it was this massive dude. And he just looked like right at me. He goes, "When did you serve?" And I was like, I didn't.
He's like, "I know you from somewhere, Team 3." And you're like, Call of Duty?
I was like, no, like I appreciate, but I didn't. Like,
It'd be like, "I appreciate you noticing my physique, but..."
Well, then he goes, "Oh, I figured because, you got your whole sleeve done and blah, blah, blah." And I was like, oh.
Oh, that's kind of assuming a lot of things about people in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, all right. Well, then it happened again, like probably a month ago. Somebody was like, "Hey, thanks for your shirt." And I was like, I didn't serve.
Yeah, and like, were you wearing a shirt or something?
I mean, a good friend of mine, Chris, runs this military-based service organization called Battleborn.
Okay.
That they do a lot for running groups and therapies for service guys and gals and stuff like that, and they're up in Allentown. So, like, it could have been that I was wearing one of the the shirts, but I'm like, nah. I have a lot of my friends served. I have my best friend I grew up with flies Air Force too.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell did he manage that?
One of the coolest books that I didn't finish, but I read a decent amount of. You know who Matt Best is?
I have a cousin named Matt Best.
Oh, wow.
Probably not the same guy.
Not the same guy, but he's a retired Army Ranger. They own Black Rifle Coffee, and they have like a YouTube channel, and they're like social media famous.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book called "Thank You for My Service." And his whole premise was like, he's like, "My time in the military was like the best part of my entire life." He goes, "It's kind of weird." He was like, the whole book was like an argument that it's like, he was trying to make an argument that everybody that served, not everybody is broken. Like, a lot of people come out of there like really appreciating their time and experience and come out better people. So it was like a unique idea that he was like, "Yeah, dude, I got to do the most badass shit in the world and had the most best, and with my friends every day. And like, when you thank me for my service, it's kind of awkward for me." And that was his idea. He's like, "You paid for me to have the best time of my life, so thank you, sir." And
he's like a mindset like Jocko and Goggins.
Yeah, my brother, when people thank him for his service, he's very polite about it, and like very like, my brother's got a really like badass job in the military and definitely could get fucked up very easily.
Right.
And it doesn't like, when people thank him, he's just like very humble and like he knows to just be polite about it. But like, I can tell that he's just like, I wanted to do this. Like, you thanking, like, I get why you're thanking me, but like, I didn't do this to like, I wanted to help people, make a difference, and I'm good with a gun. So like, this is where I ended up. And like, there's pictures of my little brother. Like, we have a picture at my mom's house where he's, I don't know how old he is. He's like maybe 7, and he's got like a Vietnam gear on and like a fake grenade, and he's like tossing it at like whoever's taking the picture is about to get lobbed a grenade. And then like right next to him is like a more recent picture of him all like kitted out, and it's just like, that's how it started, and this is how it's going. So you just like, there's some people that there is a huge amount of sacrifice, and there's a lot of like burden from their time serving, and like, it's probably like thanking them probably does help them out. But then there's probably like, this book was arguing that was like, there's people that you're thanking that are like, "No, thank you for paying for all of this, because I had a great time." And it was just kind of like a different perspective. And like, you could only write a book like that if you served and you actually like experienced the full force of the military. But I talked to like the organization that trains Rambo.
Is that the event you're doing?
Yeah, that's like their nonprofit arm.
Right.
And so like they train dogs for there's no point in promoting it because by the time this comes out it'll be after the event, but it's this coming Saturday. And I told the lady who's like in charge of it all, like the situation, like I was like, it was so weird. I was at Cabela's and this guy like thanked me for my service, and I was like, I didn't really know what to do. And she's like, well, don't make it any, like, don't get wrapped up in your head and like feel bad about it. But she's like, you just look like you've got a beard, you're in shape, and I was also like, yeah,
you look good, you take care of yourself.
Yeah, I guess that like people like it was just kind of a weird thing that happened.
I mean, it's like, you look at somebody and why you never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, don't assume my gender, right? Too dangerous.
No, I mean, we all get it. It's a joke.
It was just a joke. But,
we're laughing about it.
I'm laughing on the inside, yeah. And on the outside.
I never get confused for shit other than my brother, so that's cool.
Yeah, he has a twin brother that they like. If you put them in a room together and you dress them the same, you'd have a trippy time.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, I do. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Talking about twin brothers. What happened to your knee?
You've been dying to ask me that.
Speaking of twin brothers, what happened to your knee?
You're tired of looking at my right knee. Now you want to look at my left knee.
A softer transition would have been like, I saw a guy with nice legs earlier, but not as nice as yours. Like, what?
Or what about talk about wounded soldiers? What happened to your knee?
See? Now you're thinking.
He was serving up some hot steel.
Yeah, dude.
So, all right. So to get into that story, I said before, like I'm doing all the 5Ks for the Buck series.
That's going on right now.
Yeah. So the second one is this weekend. So it's the booking for the looking. So it's cool because it's all the profits go to School for the Blind or one of those organizations. But it's cool. I've never done this particular race, so I have no idea what the course is. But I made a commitment to myself that I was going to run them.
How many are there?
There's 6.
Okay.
There's this one, and then there's like 3 of them in May, and then the last one is in June. So in my mind, it was like, all right, I want to make a point. And I want to make a point that people need to stop judging each other based on how they look. That there's so much cruelty and so much stupidity that goes on right now that everybody forgets, like, we share the same soil together. Like, my kids go to the same school as somebody else's kids. It doesn't matter what we believe in. Like, you believe in that, I believe in that. But at the end of the day, everybody's still an American, right?
Everybody kind of, like, if you get down past all the bullshit and the minutia, everybody pretty much wants the same thing.
Yes.
They want a better life. They want to better their lives. They want to be better. They want more for their kids.
Yep.
Like, we all just disagree on how that gets done.
Yep. So my thing, the commitment I made to myself was I was going to run all these runs with a vest on, and I was going to run it with the American flag.
Okay.
That was the commitment I made to myself.
And how much weight's like in your vest?
10 to 15 pounds. And enough, because in my mind,
At 3 miles, that's gonna
yeah.
affect you.
yes,
sure.
and in my mind, the way that I rationalize it is that even the smallest thing can make a difference. The way that you treat somebody, you hold the door for somebody, the smallest thing can make a difference. So in my training, I'm like in my head so much more now than ever because I don't like running. I'm a fitness guy. I sprint. I don't like distance running, but I know I have to train it if I want to get better at it. So because of how nutty my schedule is, sometimes I will go and I'll normally run in my neighborhood. I have this 2-3 mile run that I train. It's got a hill, everything, we're good. This particular day, it was raining all day. And I had so much crap to do, and I was like, I have enough time to do 2 miles, but I have to run from the gym. So where our place is,
Yeah.
I would go across the street. I would run up 611 because there's enough sidewalk in front of Plumstead Christian to run it and then quick get on and then go around this like nasty like dirt mound to get to the other side where like Giant is.
Okay.
And I'm at. It was the first. My legs were tired from lifting. I had no desire to run, but I just had this voice in my head: "Go run, go run, go run." So I put my shoes on, and I'm not even a quarter mile. I'm running up 611, and I just fucking wipe out.
Yeah.
Like in the most glorious fashion. And I had to, and in my head, I'm going, I can either turn around and call it a day, or I can keep running. So it was like the biggest metaphor for life. So like I got up, I looked down, I was like, all right, I'm all right. I get to Giant, I look down, I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. I get around Giant, and I look down, and the blood is just going down my ankle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is bad. This is probably worse, not as bad as it seems, but
Yeah.
I was like, I made the fucking commitment. I hate making commitments to myself because I feel like I have to do it. Because if I don't do it, then I'm something I'm not, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I cannot. Like, I'm sure there's things that I'll say that somebody might be like, oh, Mike, you said this and you did this. Yeah, but I had a reason for it. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, you're allowed to change your mind or change on things.
Yeah, so, like, I wound up going home and showering, pulling, like, rocks out of my knee. And I was like, no, this is gross.
Yeah, it looks like you've healed up nicely, though.
Yeah, well.
How many days ago was that? If you say, like, 2 days ago, you might be a mutant.
You might be Wolverine.
I wish. I think it was probably, like, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
This is Thursday, probably, like, 2 Wednesdays ago.
Nice.
But it was.
Are you ready for the race on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, in my mind, one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Goal as you get older, goals change, right? Like somebody who's 60 might not want to lift as much weight as they did. They might want to be more mobile and more flexible and just be able to play with their grandkids. My mind at the beginning was, I'm gonna crush every single race, and I'm gonna do it 20 seconds faster every single time. If I can, awesome. If I cross the finish line without stopping, awesome. All I want to do is I want to make it a point that if one person is going to sit there and try to, not carry a burden, but like carry like an idea, that hopefully somebody else would be like, okay, I get it. I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
Just if you can change one person's life, then I can go to bed easy.
Nice. So does each race has like a different cause? Or is it all the same?
I think it all goes. It's just this one is specifically for that.
For the blind.
Yeah. And actually, the race director, I ran with him probably 3 years ago.
That sounds threatening. Race director.
Yeah.
Dude, it was. I think his name's Rick.
Rick, the race director.
Well,
Jeez.
he's blind to a degree. Like he is like legally blind. He told me he can make shapes out, but whoever was supposed to run with him that day was like dipped out. So everybody at the firehouse was like, hey, can you run with this guy? And I was like, well, what do I have to do? And you got to talk to him. I'm like, okay. So I go talk to him, and he had just got a brand new seeing eye dog.
Okay. Oh, so he's like legit blind.
Yeah. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like so like humbled, because he's starting to tell me like, yeah, I do marathons,
No big deal.
Ironmans, Tough Mudder. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, what do you need me to do?
I love people like that like their handicap or their disability, like to you or I, seems like a huge thing. But to them, it's like no factor. I'm still getting after it. And you're like getting after it harder than me.
Yep.
And I can see, and that just makes me feel like a bitch. And then it motivates me. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like I need to I think about people like that. Like if I'm having an off day, it's like, look, there's some dude out there that's like him that's like still getting after it. And I have, I can see. So like I have no excuses right now.
Dude, so what is it? The Blackbeard.
Okay.
No quarter. I bought this flag for the gym that's hanging up. I'm getting it tattooed
Yeah.
because that has become my mantra for life.
That's kind of like the name No Prisoners for the podcast.
Yeah.
Was kind of like, we take no prisoners. Nobody is safe. We've got no room on our ship to take any prisoners because like everybody on the ship, it has to be working.
Yeah. And there's the whole, I can't remember how it goes, but it's like, damnation, take me, for I'll give no quarter and seize my soul type thing. But
Some metal.
Oh, it's so metal. And to me, it's just like, yeah, I don't want anybody to hold back on me because I don't want to hold back on myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. I'm tired of not being like saying the things that I want to say, or like telling somebody like, yo, how much I appreciate them, or how much I love them, or like how much like good they can do. Like, what is the point of fear? Like, what is the point of holding yourself back? You don't know how much time you have today, how much time you have tomorrow. As morbid as it sounds, like, I'm going to sit there and I'm not going to hold back.
It's just facts. It's not, there's nothing.
Yeah, so it's like this guy, Rick, like, he whooped my ass. Whooped my ass in this race. Like, because I had to keep up with him and be like, oh, there's a turn, there's a bump, there's this, there's that. But he was nervous that the dog was gonna go to the bathroom a lot. So, like, people like that, like you said, like, inspire you so much, because you have to really take a look at yourself and be like, the fuck's my excuse? Like, why am I, like, bitching out on what life has to offer? Like, why am I sitting there being like, I don't want to do this thing because it makes me feel uncomfortable?
Yeah. Because I could tell you the truth. If I was blind, I probably wouldn't be running marathons in my current mental state. I'd be like, nah, dude, I'm blind.
Yeah, like,
I'm good on that running shit. I'm blind.
I'm blind. It's fine.
That's because, and then you look at somebody like that, you're like, wow, I got to get my shit together.
that's exactly it. Like, if somebody like that, like, even you have, like, you know, people that, you know, have cancer and just still, like, live every ounce of life to their fullest extent. It's like, you shouldn't wait until, like, for me, I shouldn't wait until something goes wrong to put things into perspective. I should sit there and be like, yo, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my life. If you don't like me, that's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting closer to a place like that, because I've just spent so much of at least my adult life, just like getting to the next lily pad kind of a thing. It's like, when I get there, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
When I reach that objective, I'll be happy. And like, you get there and you're just focused on the next thing. You don't really give yourself a time to kind of like enjoy what you've done or what you've accomplished, or just enjoy, regardless of accomplishment. And then I kind of just got to this place where it was just kind of like, I'm here. Like, what am I doing? Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And like, so when you look at people that, you know, are past that point, or maybe never were there, or have that mindset where it's like they're maximizing their life rather than like growing a business or maximizing money or trying to like do the next thing. They're just living. I have such an appreciation for people like that, because I'm not that person. I very much like am striving to be, and like slowing things down and like taking appreciation for like the good or like the safety you do have, rather than always worrying about like what could go wrong, or what the next like threat to you is, and like what could happen to the business if you don't do these things. It's like, everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, a lot of people from my experience are like in the same boat as me, where they just like, you just completely forget that like there's more to all of what we're doing than just building and working and, you know, doing the next like objective or the next thing you think you should do.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's pretty cool that you're doing that series of races, because like, that's living.
It's, you know, like, I think
running 3.11 miles 6 times in 3 months.
Dude, I've been running like I'll run like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Just obviously to train, but you know, I needed a good pair of shoes. Like, I needed actual running shoes. And I went and I talked to the guy that owns the running company in the center of Doylestown.
Okay.
And he hooked me up with like a good pair of shoes, and this was the reason why. And it was like, I wanted to take this seriously. Like, we all know, like, I have no problem like busting chops and making bad dad jokes, and you know, if you can't have some level of humility, like whoever we were talking about before that like took themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, if you take yourself too seriously, like, you're missing out on humility. And
Yeah,
that shows a lot about your character.
I've definitely taken myself too seriously at different points in my life, and it just
But you've grown from it. That's the point.
Yeah, I can reflect back on different things, and like I've learned to like just let it go and not like look back on like different points where I've just been like a complete idiot. With like an appreciation for like I was an idiot, something happened to me that like reminded me that I'm an idiot, and it's like I am grateful for those situations now.
Yeah.
Because like every time that happens and I get like checked, I guess is like I get put in check or something happens to like humble you. It's always like you could just like think you're a victim or think these like categorical things or put yourself in whatever category, but it's like, look, like I learned a lesson.
And that's unfortunately that's the new mentality nowadays is like everybody's a victim.
Yeah, we were talking about that like a couple episodes ago, that it's kind of like it's like a badge of honor to be a victim. Now, what were we talking about?
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton, one of the highest paid athletes in the world, 7-time or coming up on potentially 8-time world champion in Formula One. And he still talks about like him being like talks from his, like his vantage point is he's a victim, or of course they don't want me to win because the only black racer in Formula One. It's like, look, there's only 20 people in Formula One and thousands of people in the world shoot for that shot, and you've won the world championship 7 times. Like, explain to me how you're a victim.
Right.
Like, I think there's so much more nobility in, like, victim does happen. Like, you are a victim essentially, but there's so much more nobility in like explaining to people how you overcame that than being like, I am a victim. Because that's just like, I am a victim, story's over. That benefits no one. But if you are, the middle of your story is like, I was a victim, but this is what I did to overcome it, the impact you can have on people is immense, especially when you're in a position like him where it's like, yeah, maybe one time you were a victim or something, but like you being a victim that one time motivated you to be the world champion 7 times.
Yeah.
Which is like awesome. Because then it's like, sign me up to be a victim. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like, but like I think people sign up to be a victim not realizing that it's like we've had people reach out to the show that wanted to come on the show that like wanted to tell their story as a victim. And like I very politely or kindly reached out to them and just said like, hey, like you're still living your story. Like you haven't overcome your situation yet.
You have not
like,
become the victor.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the great way to put it. Like once you're the victor, now you can help people. Yeah. And I'm not discounting people's strife or a struggle or anything like that. It's more so like you have a choice to either be like, woe is me, or I beat this shit and this is how you can too. And, I don't really see any value in just like complaining about what's wrong. It's like, talk about what you're doing to change it.
Yeah. Because so many people nowadays are like, it's like, it's such an attention grab.
Yeah.
For some people where it's like, oh, my daddy didn't love me. And then it's like, shower me with compliments type thing. And it's like so many people take advantage of that. And there is so much bad shit that has happened to people. And like there's, obviously really, truly devastating things that have happened. But those people have not let those circumstances from their past shape who they are in a negative way.
Yeah.
And it's just like like I said before, like you have the ability to do something. You can play the victim or you can be the victor.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're not at that point in your life yet, like, that's fine.
I think one of the coolest stories I've heard about somebody recently was Bobby Green, the UFC fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that guy's story. And he's like, yeah, this shit happened, but, like, this is why, like, this happened and, like, this led to that. And then, like, this happened to me and then it led to this. And he has such a perspective on, like, yeah, bad shit happened to him, but like he kind of like made something from every situation.
Yeah.
And like that's where he speaks from.
Yeah.
like probably unconsciously, because I don't think he really was like trying to help anybody out. Like he was just telling his story, but he was like, yeah, I'm in the UFC. Like I've had all these fights. Like I did this, like that. I've went to jail. His dad, like his adopted father, went to prison, kind of like in a messy situation. Like, but they just like something happened. They learned from it. They improved from it, and then they hit the next like huge things happened to them every time something bad happened. So it's just I don't know what changed, or me. I mean, I'm only 34 years old, so maybe it was always like this. But I think that I would personally like to see more victors and less victims.
Yeah, like you have to grow through things. Like it's not just necessarily going through the motions. Like it drives me nuts when and I get it. There's a lot of stuff that happened over the last couple of years, especially.
Yeah.
But if you're a business owner and you jump ship like within a year, it's like when somebody has a fitness goal and they don't get it in 12 weeks. All of a sudden it's like, well, this isn't working. Well,
let's get steroids.
Yeah, like let's go get booty bands from the IG influencer. Let's get the tummy tea and the waist toner, which do absolutely nothing.
Or the cool sculpting. That's what you see a lot now. It's like your cellulite's not your fault, ladies. Come get cool sculpting. It's like nobody is looking at your cellulite.
Your brown fat is different than your white fat.
It's like
it's just fat.
It's like, why don't you eat healthier?
Yeah.
I see people at the gym sometime that there's two people in particular that I'm thinking of, and one of them, like they're kind of in the same situation, but one of them is attacking it with like, dude, if I didn't make those changes, Corona would have killed me. And I was like, what are you drinking, buddy? And it looked like he had Coca-Cola, and he's like, black coffee only. And he's like, I'm getting down to my high school weight, 220. I'm a big guy, And like, I was like, I tried to catch you. And he's like, you thought this was cola. And I'm like, I did. I was going to call you out for it, big guy. And like, he's like, nah, I'm making these changes, blah, blah, blah. Like I was telling you about this guy the other day. And then there's another guy that's in the same situation, weight loss ways. But he's like, oh, I need to get my knee done now. So, like, I'm probably going to gain some of the weight back because I can't exercise as much. Whereas the other dude's like, I got to get both knees done. I'm only doing arms. Yeah, like, and I'm just I look at both of them. I'm like, dude, you guys are both in the same boat, but it's completely different mentalities. Like, this dude is a survivor. He's not letting death come for him at all. He's like, I'm losing this weight. I'm old, but I'm still gonna lose it. Like I've got a long way to go, but my goal weight, like plan. And then the other guy's just like always like, doctor says
how big I was at one point, right? Did I ever tell you this?
Maybe we talked about it, but I don't think I ever knew.
Dude, I was 270 pounds.
What are you like right now?
215.
Okay.
Jeez.
And you're still thick.
I'm still thick with 3 C's.
Yeah, but this is healthy thick.
Yeah. Well, the 270 was I had knee surgery. I had my ACL done.
And then you gained the weight? Or you had it before that?
I put the weight on because I was like, woe is me.
Yeah.
I was like, this sucks. I can't do anything. If I knew now, I would have, and I had the mentality I had now, that shit wouldn't have happened. But now I sit there and I have a bicep. What I thought was a bicep injury.
Okay.
Couldn't curl. Couldn't do any rows. I'm like, why is my bicep? I'm thinking it's like tennis elbow. I'm going through I'm going through everything. I'm like trying to rehab my elbow. Still nothing.
Yeah.
Then it dawns on me because my wife is like, you need to go to the doctor.
Oh, no, that's like the worst thing to say to a bearded man.
I was like, no.
My wife called me yesterday, and she's like, I looked at your calendar. I said, next Wednesday you're going to the dentist. The following week you're going to your regular doctor. I'm like, son of a bitch, I should have never given him my calendar.
and in my head, I'm going, how can I avoid this as much as I say to everybody, yo, if something's bothering you, you got to stop. Yeah. And I take my own advice. Like, I didn't do any curls. I did more pull-ups than I did chin-ups. I avoided my bicep. And then I finally, like, went back to the books. And I started looking, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. My rotator cuff is where the problem started.
Okay. Shoulders.
Because when your hands supinate and pronate, meaning like you rotate.
Okay.
The issue starts here, but this, where the long head of the bicep comes into the elbow and it comes up into the shoulder, is where the issue started. So I started rehabbing my shoulder, and you can feel this thing clicking because it's trying to find its place.
It's like
back.
pulling. It's out of whack. It's
Yeah.
out of balance.
And it's going to sound shallow as shit, but like I can flex and have no pain just from 24 hours of starting the right rehab stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to let any excuses stop me.
That I have such a fondness now for like muscle skeletal information because I've gotten injured a few times in my day. And the worst time, I've broken bones and different things, but the worst pain that I've ever had, I woke up in the middle of the night, and this is like a few years ago, and I woke up my wife, and she's like, I've never seen him, even remotely react to pain that way. And I literally, I wanted to cry, because, my shoulder and, this pain I had all down my side and my trap and everything like that was just, excruciating. I can't even explain it. And they gave me gabapentin, which is a nerve blocker. Damn. And everything. And when I went to the ER and I didn't get a prescription for it. They gave me a couple hitters.
But still.
And that didn't really work. And then I went to my regular doctor. They're like, oh, maybe from your collarbone being broken so many times, you have a shoulder thing. And then I started getting massages twice a week just to try and fix it. And then I went to the rehab guy or the physical therapist. And he was that time he was explaining to me how I had thrown my chest out of balance with your lat basically. And I had created from working out had created a situation, and that pain was so bad that when the pain went away, I felt fine, but all the strength was gone from my tricep. I literally before that I could tricep pull insane amount of weight. And literally my left arm, my tricep disappeared because I guess my body just dealt with it in its own certain way. So I literally had to build back from nothing. And that was really frustrating at the same time. But I was never again. And a couple times I've had some slip ups with the other different things now I know that this is what I'm feeling right now. You think it's right now I'm dealing with a thumb and a wrist thing, which are two separate things. But I know that my thumb thing is from the way I'm holding my steering wheel. And that's related to this muscle right here. Cause when I use the Theragun on my forearm right here, the next morning it's way tender from and if I do the same thing on this arm, it feels normal. So I'm this is obviously inflamed. So there's so much more to the human body that going back to a previous point, until I got injured, I didn't learn that I was doing things incorrectly. And every time I do something like this, I go back to the basics. You got to stretch. You got to do your mobility stuff. You got to make sure you're balancing it out.
More people would benefit from more people would benefit from strength training, period.
Yeah.
But so if your mobility is better, your strength training will
be way
better as well.
I always hear people, especially older dudes in the locker room, they're like, oh, my back. And I'm always like, I want to be what part of your back? Because chances are it's your legs are out of balance.
Chances
or
are.
You have a hamstring, you got your glute, there's so much attached to your back that you think you have a back injury, but it's when was the last time you foam rolled?
Chances are a back injury is probably an issue with your hips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everything, all movement comes back to the hips.
And people automatically think oh, it's my back's real bad, so I can't lift right now, I can't do back workouts. And it's you hear these people and talk, and it's usually the same guys that are 67 years old with their AARP card in one hand, trying to curl a 90-pound dumbbell, but they're literally only this. And I'm you're not even getting full range. I don't know where you grew up or what the 70s were in the gym, but you guys aren't even you see people like that, especially on Saturdays. They'll just it's guys and girls. They'll just come in, and they'll grab whatever weight, and they'll just literally there's this one lady who's so petite, and she'll grab the heaviest barbell and just jerk it back and forth like this. And I'm you're not even doing anything, but you're probably damaging something because your elbows are taking this amount of strain. And it's just, it is what it is. You can't help everybody. But
Here's one of my biggest gripes with just exercise.
Hit us.
Number one, people.
For those of you who don't know, that Mike owns a gym and he's a fitness trainer, so he does know what he's talking about.
I have a lot of certifications and things that say I can say this type of
Some
stuff.
papers.
Yeah, a lot of papers and a lot of high-credentialed organizations said I have the right to speak on this.
It's
topic.
not just the mustache.
It's not just the mustache. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not the knee scar.
Yeah.
When all right, man, I can't even prioritize these, but like if somebody comes in, I'm going to use my wife as an example. Not that I love my wife. I love my wife.
Yeah.
But if you come in, like think about your daily activities, right? So if my wife comes in and we're squatting, right? And it's with a kettlebell or a dumbbell, we're doing goblet squats, and she gets anything lighter than our daughter, immediately I'm yelling from the back of the room, heavier weight, because she's already squatting and moving and rotating with our daughter every single day.
Yeah.
That's not going to do anything. Women, you can sit there and you can argue with me till you're blue in the face, till I'm blue in the face, sorry. Maybe both. You cannot get bulky. Like every time a woman thinks that they pick up a barbell, that they're all of a sudden going to be like a man. They're going to look like a dude. Listen, I've seen some dudes nowadays that don't even look like dudes. Like
That is the world. It is 2022.
you are not going to get bulky unless you're in a caloric surplus. You're on a ton of supplements. Like lean muscle mass is more dense than body fat mass.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like I'm not talking like calories in, calories out type thing. But like if you think about a husky, they have hair everywhere. In Alaska, it serves a purpose. In Arizona, it does not. So you probably want to get rid of some.
It's like anti-purpose.
Yeah, like you don't need that amount of fat mass. To a degree, yeah. Fat cushions you, it insulates you, it has its own purpose. But if you're sitting there thinking like, I'm going to get too bulky from doing a set of curls, like you're setting yourself up. But like nobody wants to believe that, and everybody wants the quick fix.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the instant gratification. Like it does, and every woman thinks, I'm probably going to get reamed out like as a sexist for this, but
It's okay. I'll say something and like I'll say something more abrasive.
All right,
that'll
cool.
just people forget.
Level it out.
like
We should have never let them vote. That's the first thing.
all right, cool. I feel like the heat's off me now. Like, not every woman needs to weigh 135 pounds.
No, yeah. I think there's a lot of emphasis on the scale or the certain body type. You want to look healthy for how you're built.
Yeah.
Like if you're a bigger girl, like be a sexy big girl.
All right. You're
They don't like.
I'm gonna take the
they
heat back.
exist. Like you can be hot at whatever your body type is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, find out be honest with what like your bones are looking
Right.
like, and then be that sexy person. You don't have to be like my wife is a really small person, and people will say stuff to her like when we're at the pool or something during the summer, and she's just like, yeah, but like
you're so lucky.
like she calls it skinny shaming. She's like, yeah, but like, what do you want me to do? Like, be big fat? Like, it's not for like that's not me. I'm not built that way. Like, I'm sorry. Like
So you can have somebody who's 5'11" and weighs 160 pounds and probably looks stunning. I have a couple of women at the gym like that. You have people like my wife who are shorter than me, that they weigh what they weigh is what they weigh, but they look fantastic. But you would never think that.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, why are women plus size models beautiful? Why are they plus size models? But why are men considered obese if they're overweight?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's because the women run the world and they want to shame us.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, more people spend time shaming each other based on if they're skinny or if they're too big. Like,
Everybody's trying to fit into like a specific cookie cutter type thing.
There is no cookie cutter to fitness. There isn't. Like this is a healthy lifestyle. Like you gotta eat the right stuff. You can have your cake. You can follow your macros and still be able to do what you do and enjoy life. Any diet that restricts you from one thing is bogus.
Yeah,
it's
and
not sustainable.
I've also learned that, like, you may need to try 10 diets and then get to the 11th one, and that's the one that works for you.
Yeah, as long as you don't give up. Like, don't change the goal, change the plan.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that so many...
Don't change the goal, change the plan.
Yeah, that's...
Boom. Thank you. Hit him with the shotgun, dude.
Come on. I thought I've dropped a couple of good ones so far.
yeah.
Writing them down.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you should see the shit I write down.
Clips for days here.
Yeah.
Dude, the notes that I have in my phone are...
I take a lot of notes. I write down everything in my phone because, like, there's little. You just like, it reminds me. Like, I have reminders on my phone. Like every hour, I get a reminder.
Do you? I know you used to read.
I used to read like I read this morning.
Okay, all right. Serves my point. I used to love reading.
Yeah,
but I fucking get tired.
Yeah,
and it bothers. So I started listening to books.
That's the same thing. Is like you're still getting, like, people can knock the audio book all they want, but if you're getting the information, go yourself. Like, it's like, just like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to read the words. Like, if you're dyslexic, like, do the audio book.
So like when I go out for, I won't listen to a book while I run. Yeah. But like if I go out for a walk, like I got, like big, like the new like Beats Studio head, because I can't do earbuds anymore.
Yeah.
Which I love, but I'll just quick like open my notes and I'll write a note down. And then what I've started thinking was I wish, because I think Facebook's a terrible thing and I think it's a great thing. I think
it's like guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be good. Yeah. It could save your life. It could save your wife's life. But, if the gun gets taken out of your hands and you get shot with your own gun, that's bad.
Like, so many people will post all kinds of trash, and I'm trying to still be that one person that's like, yo, this is something that you can hopefully will inspire you today.
Yeah.
And
well, that's you have to make small incremental differences, like start the movement.
Yeah, like what did I today, like on my walk today before I came in, I wrote down 2 letters stand between possible and impossible. Are you really going to let 2 letters stop you?
Yeah. Because
it's like one of those things where you have to put, stuff out for your business. You have to put some level of content, whatever you want to call it. I think content is just your everyday life.
Yeah, I've taken a break from the content game. Obviously, we're in the content business.
Right.
But I've stopped posting a little bit just to kind of like recycle. Like I was just posting as just like this passive aggressive person for a while, like over a year ago. And then I like kind of got out of it a little bit. And then I just like social media with like everything happening and like just like the daily dose of just negativity. Yeah. I just had to take a break. But like I read so much that like I'm trying to think of a way to kind of like take what I read and start posting again with like information that like, so like I'm reading a book right now called Small Giants, which was given to me by one of our customers. Uh-huh. And it's all about how like everybody thinks they need to scale their business into like the next thing or the next buyout or whatever that is. But like there are people that like choose to stay small and be great. And like the gentleman who gave this to me was like, this book like really resonated. Like when he read it, he was like, dude, this reminded me of what you guys are doing. Because like we've had choices to like that would have made us like a lot bigger of a company or take on like build a huge neighborhood. And like we've turned some of that stuff down because like we want to build a certain product or we only want to do certain things. And like that was a decision that like, some people would have been like, why would you do that? Like you could have made all this money or you could have, done this and been great. But like, I'm like, that's not what we wanted to do.
Yeah. It's like, what does success look like for you?
Yeah, exactly what the book is. And like being okay with it or understanding how to avoid getting big. And like when I read books, I take notes. Like I'll write post-it notes.
I have to.
Like Gilmar borrows books from me. Like I stopped highlighting and writing in the books because I know Gilmar, like somebody else might read it, and then like I ruin the whole book for them because it's like neon. But I'll put like I get like different size Post-it notes, and I'll write little things like one word things, point to the arrow on the page, and like so I'm reading that book. I'm doing the same thing now, and I'm like, so many people that follow our pages like have businesses or want to own businesses or want to understand that more. So I'm like, it would be cool. Like we might do a podcast on a book or something like that. But like I read books very quickly. So like if I did like one post for every time I read a book and was just like, these were my hot takes.
Yeah.
These were like the 5 things I took away from this book. Like you might not be a reader, but like me reading and giving you this little insight could help you out.
Yeah.
So like that could be a positive change. So like just the different stuff I was thinking about.
That's how I feel about like my personal page.
Yeah, you do a good job. Like I don't read a lot of people's Instagrams selfishly, but I do read yours. And like there are people that probably read yours and they're like, "Oh, Mike's full of himself," or "Mike's writing another caption again."
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, there are a ton of people that read your posts and they're like they might not tell you or they may tell you, but like there are people benefiting from like the knowledge you're dropping on Instagram.
I appreciate that. Like
Yeah.
that, and that's like
Most people's content is like, "Hey, titties." It's like, "Hey, this is the food I ate. Try it out."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but what am I even looking at
Yeah.
here? Like, is this chicken fingers? Like,
Yeah.
what's it like? Give me some more to it. And you give like the backstory or the insight or the content that like I wish Instagram was.
Oh wow, that was deep.
Yeah, don't cry.
I'm not,
Don't
but
cry.
That was deep. I appreciate that.
You know what I'm
one.
saying?
Wow.
Like, you put a lot of effort behind your posts, and your goal is to help people.
Yeah.
It's not to show like you're all knowledgeable, Mike.
I had because they say if you never live in the comment section.
Yeah.
Because that's where that's where. The
Oh
trolls
boy,
Yeah.
we have YouTube haters
are. Do you?
on the Audex Revival, like our construction company.
Wow.
Because we'll post like, this is how we're doing this, or this is what it is,
somebody's
and
probably
people will be
"No."
like, "You're an idiot. Your hat's stupid." And like I got wrapped up in it a few weeks ago, and Gilmer's like, "Dude, bro." And
People don't know shit.
I was
It's
like,
fine.
they're like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
I had some guy comment about like a reel that I made, and it was like me deadlifting, and the comment was like wheelchair by 65, and I was like, I was like, all right, like
You should have commented back, "Dentist chair by next week. Meet me at the corner of
I pretty much like got into it in like the most subtle way, but like I ended it like so like calmly of just like, yo, at the end of the day, like I'm assuming what you do is more beneficial than what I do, but you live your life and I'll live mine, and I'll let you know if I'm in a wheelchair at 65.
You should have been like, "I'm 66, bitch. I look better than you did at 30." And he'll be like, "What? He's 66?"
It just goes to show you, like, so many people want to throw so much shade on what you're doing because they think they could do. Like, if you don't want to come lift with me because you want to go do the Peloton, that's fine. I don't agree with Peloton. It's not my thing.
Yeah, that Colt.
The Colts in my
Gilmar's got a
basement.
Peloton.
No, you don't, do you?
Yeah, I do. I got one.
In full disclosure, I have a Peloton too.
Yeah, I got one when the pandemic started, and it's helped me. So
But you know,
it's not bad.
so listen. All right.
I'm gonna log on later and see the last time you logged on.
Okay, that was yesterday.
It was this morning while you were reading a book.
All right.
Like, my wife, I got it from my wife
Mm.
because I hit a point where it was like, my wife should not have to drink the same juice that I drink.
No,
If she loves to ride, to spin, I will get her.
I'm in the same boat as you. My wife loves the Peloton, loves the like competition of it,
she
and
doesn't
I'm
like it
always
bad.
like, "You need to get under the bar," and she's like, "Calm down," and I'm like, "Olympic lifts."
So
And
here's
she'll be like, "Calm down."
Here's
I'm
what
telling
happened. I came home the one day, and she was downstairs. My mother-in-law was down there, and my mother-in-law was playing with the kids while Krista was riding. And Krista's on the bike, and she's like doing like lateral fly. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I've never watched the class. So I'm like trying to show interest.
You got a smirk on your face. You're like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, and she was like, this is the rest. And I was like, well, why are you doing something? She goes, well, because this is the strength part. And I was like, those are 2.5 pound dumbbells. They don't got to do nothing.
Yeah.
That's not strength. And I go, why is the instructor sweating so bad?
Dude, they do sweat.
She goes, well, she's working out to the highest intensity. And I go, well, why aren't you?
Oh.
And she's like, why are you down here? And I was like, you're right.
You're right. I'll go back upstairs.
I'm gonna go.
You're like those 2.5-pound dumbbells. I saw you carry fucking 15 grocery bags in each arm out of the car yesterday. That's 45 pounds in each arm. Let me get you some heavier weights.
That's fitness tip number 2.
Yeah.
If you don't carry your groceries in one shot,
You're weak. You're weak.
You're missing out on something.
Bruh, no 2 trips. Don't
Nah,
buy
dude.
it.
Especially like if people learn like. I lived in the city for like 10 years. My wife, when I met my wife, like she was living in the city for like longer than that, and like she would go shopping and like walk from like Center City back to where she lived with all the bags.
Oh man,
That's
straps
rough.
Diesel.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw her, I'm like we go out sometimes, or like we'll go out to the car and she'll carry like all of our bags or something. I'll be like, our neighbors are looking at us like, let me carry something. She's like, got it. And I'm like, yeah, but the people are thinking I'm a pussy. And she's like, what do you care what they think? And I'm like, well, I think I'm a pussy.
that is like to be truthful. Carries like farmer walks are one of the best things you can do for a form of cardio.
Yeah.
Like if you grab a pair, like, and I love when we do them and like somebody will grab like 35s. I'm like, yo, it ain't heavy enough. Like it needs to be a struggle, but it creates such a stronger core. And everybody, like every woman, thinks like, oh, I have to do more ab crunches. Like, no, you need to put heavier weights on your squats. You need to learn how to deadlift better and use your core, and you need to do more weighted carries. And that will strengthen your core more than anything on a stability ball will.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do the work.
Everybody wants the goal, but not everybody. No, what was it? Everybody wants the prize, but nobody wants the progress.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, we should end it on that. And I also have to pee real bad. So.
Yeah, I've been holding something in. So.
Yeah, you've been holding something in?
Yeah, dog.
What, some passion?
Some piss.
Oh, whoa. That sounded kind of dirty.
Well, you said passion, so I had to say passionate.
R. Kelly, take it easy.
There you go, baby. Yo.
Let's go.
Tarp. Get the tarp.
All right, so this was Mike Subs, training for Warriors up in Plumsteadville off 611. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
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 So if you are in the area and you need someone to like be in your corner but also motivate you and tell you how it is,
Show up.
this is your guy.
Yeah. Let's see.
So where can people find you? Like, what's your social media stuff?
You can follow me personally on Instagram at mike.subs. I mean, shoot, I even made a TikTok now.
Wow.
Oh.
Look at that shit.
But I had to make it. I was pissed. Somebody took the name. OG Mike Subs.
Oh,
So
right.
That's TikTok where I have started doing more motivational and even like quick, like, yo, if you don't have a lot of time. Yeah, like little hitters. And the business page is Training for Warriors Doylestown or tfw.doylestown.
All right, cool. We got Andrew and Gilmar over here too. Thanks for listening. Hit the subscribe button. We do read the comments on the podcast YouTube, so hit us up in there. Like and follow our YouTube channel and the Instagram, and share us with a friend. That's the fee.
Yeah.
Pay us.
Pay us. Pay us with friends.
Yeah, pay
I'll
us.
give you a hug.
Yeah,
Do that.
we're out.